Yeah, hi all. So, good morning and good evening, everyone. Yeah. So let's start the session. So before we start the session, let me give some instructions here. So in case anybody have any audio issues or something, don't end the meeting today. So instead of that, you come out yourself and again rejoin. Then yeah, coming to the today's session, basically today, so we will go through the demo. So just before we get into the course content and we get into this, join this course, right? So let's try to understand. So what is basically S4HANA and what is S4HANA stands for and how it is evolved as on today, and also the what is the future roadmap for SAP for S4HANA and how this is going to be add a value to the customer business. So let's look into all those things, and we also have various deployment options available, and our front end also is completely changing now. So which is we have a new modern UI. So how that will be looks like and what kind of advantages we have for the new modern UI. So all those things also we'll discuss. And yeah, so finally we will also see basically what kind of implementation approaches basically we are following for S4HANA finance implementations. So let's look into all these things. So before we yeah get into the things, so basically just I wanted to understand your background as well. So let me give my background. So I'm there, so having more than 13 years of experience in SAP and also basically S4HANA and central finance group reporting things, and also basically I'm a certified SAP S4HANA finance consultant. Yeah, this is a quick background about myself. So just I wanted to understand your background as well. So can you please let me know your background? So are you guys are working on ECC, or you are completely new for S4 or new for SAP? So anybody can basically and go through and I'll ask everyone, right? So basically, first of all, Geeta, or could you please tell me about quick background, so not require everything, just whether you have SAP experience or not. Geeta, last year, Syed, Srini.
Let's talk about abstract art. I think I can give it a try. It's almost on cars, right?
Syed, I think, yeah, if you are introducing yourself, so let's go ahead. If not, basically go mute. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi there. So I have been working in SAP mostly analytics and on the ECC side for last 20 years. I wanted to get an overview of S4 HANA and the integration like analytics and all the everything end-to-end integration.
Scope is basically finance. When I say finance, analytical, basically we have this embedded analytical and stuff. For the people who are working on the finance, who have a background of finance, that means SAP who are working on this FICO modules, right? So for them, if you are interested to learn this FICO thing, just learn this course as well.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Rini.
Okay, got it.
So, Syed, go ahead.
Hello.
Syed, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just basically in finance and accounting and just doing the SAP integration
for one of the companies in Canada. So I
So
have a contracting business. So just a couple of companies have contacted me to do some the uh, they are on visual board. So basically moving on to new SAP software, and then mostly just going on to SAP HANA Cloud by 2023.
Okay, thanks, Ed. So, and Lasya and Geeta.
Hi, Dayakar. I'm Geeta Khatri. I'm totally new to SAP. I have been working as an accounting payable specialist for a while, and I'm looking forward to learn more about SAP S/4HANA.
Yeah, thanks, Geeta. So, Lasya, you please go ahead. Okay, thanks, Lasya. Fine. So basically, yeah. So let's start the session. Just I want to highlight a couple of things here. Okay, this course basically is intended for finance guys. That means who have a background of finance. That is mandatory. Your functional knowledge of your finance, and then basically you must and should have at least the basic understanding of your ECC side, how this GLAR and AP, and because AP and AA, these modules, right? Basically, if you have exposure there, so then basically it is well and good. If not, then you need to basically do little homework. Yeah. So in that way, basically this because these are all S4HANA sessions, so which are the Delta sessions. That means from ECC to S4. So from the finance perspective and from the controlling perspective, what are all the changes basically is coming in on S4. So we are going to be discuss on that. So this focus is only on S4HANA things, okay? But you need to have a little background from the finance perspective on ECC, and you need to have must and should have a functional background at least, right? So this is a prerequisite to attend these sessions. Yeah. So just I wanted to highlight that. Yeah. Then let's move on. So yeah. If you see this particular slide, so where I'm talking about the overall evolvement of basically the SAP so far. So they if you see this the long back, right? Basically in the they came up with this product like called R2, and then basically subsequent to that they have released a product called R3. Then they came back with a consolidated ERP in 2004, right? So this story basically we already knows, but now on S4. So S4, what is S4? Okay, this is basically earlier SAP used to be depends on the third-party databases like Oracle and all other stuff. Okay, so now they have started their they have started their new invention, so which is completely new. They have basically started and invented their own database now. So there are two reasons basically behind for this new invention is the point number one. So basically they don't want to give this business to anyone else. That is the one thing, and they wanted to occupy this market as well. And the second thing is the point number two. So they have seen a lot of limitations on the existing database and all. So to recover that, right? So to make their product for the future oriented kind of thing. So they also basically done a lot of changes, and basically they came up with these new inventions and all, right? So finally, this S4 is nothing but it is a database. It is a new database. It's a own database of SAP. It's their own product. Okay. Then how it will be differ from your classical ERP to S4? So how this will be basically completely the differentiation, right? So that we will see in even future. But anyway, it is a new product of SAP. It's a database. It's their own database. They have invented on their own, and and also basically this new invention, right? So now we are moving from the rows to the columnar basis structure. Okay, this is in-memory database. We can call it as an in-memory database. What is an in-memory database? Just a second. Give me a second. So what is a in-memory database? So we'll discuss about that anyway in the future. So it is a new database. As HANA is a database which is built up with in-memory technology. So as a change, basically earlier the way basically we used to run all the applications, the ERP and all the set applications on the classical things. Basically now as a change, basically we are running all these new applications on the new database, which was built up with the in-memory technology. So as a change, basically we need to relook into our basically core, and we need to readjust and replatform our code which is and to leverage this memory data. That's the whole intent of SAP S/4HANA. Then if you see this right side, right, so basically where I am highlighting with the various methods, I think I'm getting a lot of noise and disturbances. So if you are not talking, so can you please go mute? Let me check it. So I think Syed, so please can you please go mute? Yeah.
How do you mute it?
Yeah, thanks, Syed. So yeah, we are talking about this circle, right? So this circle basically where I'm talking about the various cloud products of S4. So we have simultaneously, basically SAP is also developing certain cloud products where you can see here. So let's say Ariba is for procurement, and basically Hybris is for sales, and SuccessFactors is for HRM. Like this, basically they are also developing certain cloud products on S4, right? So then where I'm talking about this particular middle circle, so where I'm talking about the HANA Cloud Platform. What is the HANA Cloud Platform? So HANA Cloud Platform is a platform for those customers who wanted to develop this. See, generally on the cloud, right, you'll have restrictions to develop your custom development programs and all. But whereas an HANA Cloud Platform is a platform for those customers who wanted to develop their custom development programs. So for them, basically, this platform can be enable them to do so. Okay. So then we have also the middle circle where I'm talking about the various cloud product, various deployment options. So HANA, basically we have various deployment options available on cloud. So like we will have the public cloud. So the product basically work as a normal cloud product, and we also have a private cloud. So here basically any private company will have a hosting option, like IBM is hosting for one of the cloud clients. So in that way, basically we can do that. And HEC, which is a HANA Enterprise Cloud Platform. So this will be hosted by SAP. Like this, we do have various deployment options available for S4. Yeah. So in this way, basically, and also the most important thing is front end part, that is mobility part, which is now we have also introduced with a new UI, which we can call it as a Fiori. So how that was evolved, so that we will see in the future slides up and in the coming slides. So this is the basically a slide where I'm talking about the various different versions here. So so if you see the overall journey on S4, right? So this is so far basically it was happened. So we have basically the journey was started 1503 is the first add-in version basically which we have seen on S4. But before that, we used to have a product called 1.0, so which was there in the market around 3 to 4 months of time. So at I think that was happened in the late 2014 and early 2015. So there were around 35 customers went on it mostly from the US and Europe region. So, and subsequent to that, the first add-on version which we have released is with 1503. At that point of time, basically we used to have the innovations only from the finance perspective. They went with a concept called finance first. So basically they have added the innovations on the finance first on the 1503. That there we have seen only the innovations from the finance perspective. Then we went to the 1511 version. In the 1511, basically we have seen the additional innovations on the product, like, so we have introduced with the S-Log. So S-Log is nothing but it is a logistical part. So they have also introduced here the logistics part as well. So then this is a first add-on version, I can say, basically, which was a full product, I can say, with the complete innovations from finance and the logistics perspective. But at this point of time also, we had to cover a lot of functionalities from the finance perspective that was not mature product, and also from the logistics, just we started the innovations here, but we had to cover a lot of things here. Then we moved to the 1610 version. So subsequent to that, again 1610, we have, I can say this is one of the mature product in on premise. So basically where we have seen the innovations majorly covered from the finance perspective, and also then still we have to cover a couple of functionalities which were covered on the 1709 and 1909, and currently we are working on the 1909. So, and you can also observe one more thing is basically this 15, this 11. What is 15 and 11 means? So the 15 is a basically year and 11 is a month which this product was released. So now currently the 2020 version is going on. That means the 2020 means, so now we are changing the numbering also. So earlier we used to have that like year and period kind of thing, but now we are only going with a year. So this year onwards, so you can see now that currently we are working on the 2020. So in future you can see 2021, 2023, 2024, 2025. So we have a roadmap till 2025. So SAP have a roadmap to develop this product till 2025. But coming to the finance, basically finance is already mature. So I think so you don't see much changes in the upcoming versions, but you may see the changes in a couple of other modules as well, right? But finance, I don't think you will see the much changes. You will see not even 3 to 4 max 5% delta you can see in the finance perspective. So that is how basically the overall the product evolvement happened so far. And if you see this particular right side, basically where I'm talking about the future roadmap for SAP S/4HANA. So you can see that basically we, as I said, so this journey was started during the late 2014 and all, but now so this they have the roadmap till 2025 to develop this product. So till 2025, so what they are going to be do? So certain functionality is already covered, like so BPC. Initially they have covered with the planning things. Again they have started with innovations on the consolidation perspective. So they have started innovations and they have added innovations from the consolidation perspective. Then also sourcing, CRM and all basically have done. Then the EWM and TM, basically they have also added most of the things they have already covered on the 2020 version, but still we have to see some delta. So maybe they may cover it in the future versions. Like that, basically we have ACC, CRM, SRM, SCM, and all these things. Basically they're going to be bring under core by 2025. And SAP also has declared that after 2025 they are not going to be support on any of the classic versions. This is where basically every ECC the project basically which you have, right? So the project which you are running, they must and should migrate it to S4. Okay, so they must and should migrate to S4. This is where the big opportunity for the consulting companies to get the business under this new space. At the same time, as a consultant, basically with this new learning, you can also get the more opportunities in the market. Yeah, this is overall evolvement happens so far. Okay, so fine then. So what is a big deal? So okay, you have developed this product. When you go to the client, right? So always he will look for his benefit. So when you go to the client, so these kind of questions you'll always expect. Okay, so you have developed this product, but how this is going to be helpful for me? How this is going to be add value to my business is more important for me. So for them, basically this is the answer. So basically we have a lot of benefits with this new product now. So the speed up retrieval of typical analytical data. So now, as I said, so basically we are moving, we have came up with a completely new database, right? It's a own database. So the technology, right? So that in-memory technology, whatever we are talking about. So so what we are doing here is we are moving from the rows to the columnar based structure, where it will be greatly reduces the data footprint and which will be helpful for the higher throughput. Let me give you an example from the finance perspective. Yeah, if you see this structure, right? So basically where I'm talking about, so this is my finance related tables. Okay, so like that we have sales, material management and all this stuff. So you can see this finance perspective for, let's say for example, you post an accounting document. So what is happening today? It is posting the header information in the BKPF table and also the line item information in the BSIC table. Addition to this BSIC, right? It's also basically saving the same information. That means you will have a redundant data in the various other couple of index and total tables as well, right? So like let's say for a general ledger accounting perspective, you'll have BSIS and BSAS tables, and from the customers and vendors perspective, you'll have BSID, BSAD, and BSIK, BSIK tables. So addition to this BSIC, basically again and again, basically the information is storing. You'll see the redundancy of information in the various other tables as well, right? So in this way, basically what it is, we went with this kind of structure earlier due to the database limitation, right? So, but here you will have a redundant of data, and the point number one, and point number two, basically it is occupying the more database. As it is occupying the more database, it will also impact on your overall performance time, right? That means when you execute in a report, it is taking hours together now with this typical database structure. Due to these database limitations, anyway, we went with this kind of structure at that point of time, which was perfect at that point of time. But now on S4, so we are completely, so let's see, so let me go to the next slide. So we are basically removing all this total and index and total tables. You can see very clean database now, right? So this is how we are reducing the data footprint, which will be helpful for the higher throughput. When I say higher throughput, for example, let's say you execute in a report earlier, where it is taking this 12 hours of time, now it can be executed within the 15 minutes of time, right? So information is needed on the on the fraction of seconds to the business. So this is growing. So if you see any global company, right? So if they wanted to take a decision on an effective manner, so they should be getting a reporting also on the fraction of seconds, right? So these delaying in reporting things, right? So now earlier when you execute on such kind of reports, and also they never used to give this real-time data and all, right? So these kind of constraints, right? The limitations we have recovered with this new database. With this, basically that the reporting possibilities, the real-time reporting possibilities, on all those things basically now this is possible. So in this way, basically the business can take in a decision in an effective manner on basically on timely basis kind of things, right? In that way, basically this product will be helpful for them. Then we also have certain other things basically from the reporting perspective. We used to have earlier, right? Basically the reporting perspective we used to use is BI and BW system. So it's a great reporting, but at the same time, basically certain function. So for example, let's say you have an app operational report. So where you are developing that by taking days together, end of the day, client is hesitating to use such kind of reports where it is not giving the real-time data. That is one thing. And also the another thing is basically here the ETL process also is involved, where you are extracting and loading, right? Basically the transforming, loading, and all these things basically is taking a lot of time there. So and end of the day, basically client is hesitating to use because it is not giving the real-time data, right? So this real-time data or real-time data also can be possible now with this new product. Okay, I can say this is also one of the big win, I can say. So where your client wanted to see the real-time data on the real-time basis, basically this will be also possible with a new product. And another one more important thing which we can see here is, so the front end, right? So earlier we used to have the GUI, right? So but we do have a lot of disadvantages there also. Okay, so before we get into this Fiori, right? So which is a modern UI. So let's look into the certain drawbacks which we can see from the GUI perspective, let's say in the GUI, so let's say you have a marketing guy, so right, who is going to the market and getting the order from the customer, and he wanted to punch the order from there itself. Is that possible today? That's not possible today, right? So this he has to come back to office and he has to use his a laptop, or he has to use his desktop, and he has to punch the order from the office. So but nowadays the business world is not going in such a way, right? So basically, if you get an order immediately, if you wanted to punch the order, so that kind of thing is which is not facilitated with the GUI. If you use a GUI even on the Citrix, basically we are getting hundreds of problems, right? So that cannot be consumed on any device kind of thing. But whereas this Fiori, which is a modern UI, so this can be consumed on any device. In the same example, this can be consumed on any device means it can be consumed on your desktop, laptop, mobile, your smartphone, and everywhere, right? Your tablet or anything, basically you can use it. It can be consumed on any device. In the same example, the guy basically who got an order from then and there itself, basically wanted to punch the order, that can be possible now. This is point number one. So, and the point number two, basically with the Fiori, let's say for example, the transactions, it is a transaction based concept, right? The GUI. So if you have a multiple transactions, you'll have sometimes the redundant transactions. The user, right? It is not user friendly, and user is always basically will get confused. So when to use what kind of thing, okay? Whereas this Fiori, so it is not the transaction based concept, it is a role based concept. Let me show you something, okay? So when I say role based concept, that means you need not to use, see, in your organization, you have a different level. You may have the top level management, executive level guys, like you have CEO, CFO, and all these guys. And also you have middle level management, like your group cash manager or cash manager or someone. Then you also have lower level people, daily punch the invoices and all, right? So in this way, basically you'll have different level of people based on their roles and responsibilities. So we can enable the apps, right? It is a role-based concept. When I say role-based concept, based on their roles and responsibilities, we can enable the Fiori apps. So when he log in into the systems, right? So he can able to see whatever he is responsible for. So let me log in into the Fiori. So this is the system. Basically, once you enroll, so you are going to be access the same system. So you will have all these things. Okay. This is a system where you can see the 2020. This is a version basically which we are going to be discussed. All the topics which we are going to be covered is on the 2020, and you'll also have simultaneously, we are keeping certain other versions also just to see the delta to delta kind of thing, and also you have ECC system here and all other things also there. So anyway, so you will be get access for all these systems. So once you completed your enrollment or your registration process is over, so you'll get the access for the same system. So this is a Fiori screen basically where I can show you. Here is, let me go to the. So for example, I am a user. So if I am responsible for, say, as it is a demo system, you can see everything here. But in the real-time system, it is not like this. Basically, if you are, for example, you are accountant, this account display content, or you are a cash manager. So whatever you are responsible, so that those Fiori apps only will be enabled for you. So that when one click, you can go and perform your job. Okay. And it is also very user friendly, and the look and feel is completely different. If you wanted to add some graphics, or if you wanted to do the analysis by adding some graphics or pictorial information, and all those things can be also possible with this Fiori. Okay. How this we have also embedded analytics here. So how that embedded analytics, basically those analytical apps will be helpful for the business to analyze certain reports and all those things, right? Where you want to add some graphics and all those things also is possible now. So those things anyway we will we'll check in the detailed discussions, right? So in the upcoming sessions we will see. So like this, basically it is a user friendly, and the look and feel is completely different. The reporting perspective, the various possibilities we have, right? So and also basically it is role. It is not a transaction based concept. It is a role based concept now, and this can also be consumed on any device. So these are all the benefits which we can also see with this new product. Okay, let it, I think this is reading, so it will take some time. So let me come back here. So like this, basically this Fiori. So this is like, it will looks like this, like these dashboards and all. So where you will have the transactional apps and analytical apps, fact sheets, and smart business apps, and all these things we'll have. So this we will discuss anyway during our actual sessions. Then we have another thing is basically we have the various implementation approaches which we are following for S/4HANA implementation. So let's say we have a technical migration to SAP S/4HANA, conversations, greenfields, and functional phase greenfields, and system consolidation. But majorly, so you will see the majorly the product projects will be either it will be you will see on the greenfield majorly, and followed by the conversation projects. Conversation projects means, for example, let's say you already have ECC in place, so now you want to convert that ECC to the S/4HANA system. So in that way, basically, we can also go with the conversation projects as well. Yeah, this is a quick overview on the S4, but I will also take you through the course content. So I think Rajendra maybe already shared this course content with you, but I will take you through the course content also before I open the floor for your questions. So you can also go through this I think I'll ask Rajendra to share this, but anyway, I will share it right now. Okay, so this is now it is 2020 anyway, and in 2020 it will take around 40 to 45 hours. Okay, then the prerequisites to attend these sessions, as I said, so at least you should have a good finance background, and if you have the FICO experience is added advantage, but at least you should have a basic knowledge of SAP FICO kind of thing. If you don't have, at least you need to do a lot of homework. You need to do the little homework to understand those things as well. The older, the earlier concept. You can also directly learn it, but you mustn't have a basic understanding of that. In case you don't have, then at least you need to do that homework. I can support you with some of the documents. Then we have the different chapters here. Basically, chapter 1 basically talks about the introduction of SAP S/4HANA and outline outline SAP S/4HANA finance features and all. Then in the chapter 2, we will discuss about the providing of the technical overview of implementation prerequisites and describes the architecture of SAP S/4HANA finance, analyzing the universal journal and various reporting options and all. Then the chapter 3, basically, as I said, we have different kind of projects like greenfield and brownfield. So I'm going to be given examples by taking both into consideration. So if you are part of this migration project, majorly you will be part of the major 3 important phases like pre-migration and migration and post-migration phases. What kind of activities you will perform? Basically, these are all the listed activities you will perform. So with this, we will take you through. I will take you through during our actual sessions. Then we'll have the core topics like general ledger accounting. So we'll learn here. So the major topics like I'm highlighting the core topics here. The universal general concept, and we will also see this basic versus ACTOCA, non-destructive approach, ledgers and currency settings, and extension ledger concept, simulation ledger concept, predictive ledger concept, basically the GL master data, CO integration, and subsequent implementation of document splitting, subsequent implementation of additional ledger. Also, basically, we will see the new settings in SAP S/4HANA and absolute settings on SAP S/4HANA Finance. Then we have from the AR and AP point of view, we have all these topics like business partner introduction and business partner approach, and system demo for BP creation and configuration, and customer vendor integration, pre-checks for the customer vendor integration, and BAM Lite option with the SAP S/4HANA Finance, and the full option also along with the cash management. We will see the managed house banks and Fiori apps which are given under this particular BAM space. Then the cash management perspective, so we will also see the bank accounting management, cash operations, liquidity management, Fiori apps under SAP S/4HANA cash management space also. And coming to the asset accounting, the core topics which we can see is the new architecture in new asset accounting, and integrated asset acquisition, and prerequisites for the new asset accounting, and the configuration changes and new asset accounting, and the migration for the new asset accounting, technical and data migration. We will see then the limitations for the new asset accounting. I'm not highlighting each and every thing, but you can just go through it later. So I'm highlighting with the main topics here. Then we will in the CO, so this is the controlling module. So we are going to be covered here the COPA. In the COPA, we will have the profitability analysis solution in S/4HANA, the new profitability analysis in the universal journal, attributed profitability segment derivation and profitability characteristics for the balance sheet items, and COGS split, production variances split, reconciliation with the financial given on the various versions, and migration path for the SAP ERP COPA customers, and key differences in COPA and solution with and without S/4HANA. And coming to the another topic, important topic is which is a material ledger. In the material ledger, we will try to understand here the material valuation in S/4HANA and material inventory, new data model, and simplified data model, and material ledger activation and currency settings, and deactivation of statistical moving average price and actual costing features in SAP S/4HANA. So these are all the things basically we will see from the material ledger perspective. And we also have another important topic is which is a transfer pricing. Here also we have two solutions like single valuation, multi-valuation ledger. So, and finally, we will also touch upon the restrictions, ML migration to SAP S/4HANA, the current version, and the key things also we'll see. And in addition to this, we will also see in the overview of IBP BPC and this central finance and the integration with MMNSD and the predictive accounting and advanced financial closing cockpit, and basically we will also see the predictive accounting and all of that stuff. Yeah, and also we will see the overview of the group reporting as well. Yeah, these are all basically which we are going to be covered during our actual sessions. And before I hand over it to you, basically let me also highlight a couple of other things. Like, so we are going to be from the tech training perspective, so you are going to be get the system access for around 2.5 months or something, I'm not sure. You'll have a system access and the training material, whatever I'm going to be shared during the sessions at the end of the day. So basically you'll get that as well, and every session will be recorded and shared with you at the end of the day. And basically also I can support you on the trust certification guidelines and certification sample questionnaire, so which I have prepared for from the couple of other exams, basically whatever they're given. So, and also the resume preparation and resume updation and all those things. Basically, this is the support you can expect from our end. The remaining admin things, basically, I'm not the right person to talk on that. So you guys can contact Rajendra to share that information on the admin fee and all other stuff. So now I will open the floor for your questions. Basically, if you have any questions, so please go ahead and ask me. Yeah. Yeah, Geeta, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Geeta. So last year, do you have any questions? Yeah, thanks, Lasya. Then Syed.
No, actually, it's interesting just to see the data migration and data integrity, and also the SAP HANA. So very excited to be joining this course.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So I think then, yeah, Srini.
Yeah, no, thanks there. I mean, I don't have any questions. One thing is, actually one question I have, do you cover anything on the financial reporting?
Yeah, so each and every module, right? So finance perspective, each and every sub module. At the end of, see, we are going to be looking to the Fiori things, right? So whatever all the reporting options we have, whatever all the analytical apps we have, so we can compare with your ECC, right? Those embedded analytics which you are talking about, right? So I will take you through all the available embedded analytical apps in the system.
But the available thing, right? But do you also take creating new reports, new apps?
Creating new apps is not the finance job, right? So that will be taken care by the Fiori consultant. But what kind of inputs you will be provided to them to enable such kind of input? For example, let's say I need one particular dashboard where I wanted to see some certain KPIs. That whatever all the inputs required from the finance perspective, we can provide them. But developing that, see, for example, we put that in the Excel saying that, so this is where basically we need additional dimensions, KPIs, and all this stuff. This much we can put to them, but they will develop the product. right? So I think they will develop these Fiori apps. In case if it is not, if you are not, if you don't see these embedded things, right? So which will not fit for you, then we can go ahead with our custom development things. But at there, basically, as a functional consultant, so what is important for us, how we will provide the information to them. So that much I will cover. But the rest of the things anyway, it will take care by the base or Fiori consultant only.
Got
They
it.
will only.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Thank you there. One thing is on the reporting. Previously, Report Painter reports, FI consultants used to.
No, we don't require Report Painter reports at this point of time, because we have enough reporting perspective. They have given enough embedded analytical apps. Even your Report Painter reports will not give such kind of reporting flexibility, like so where you wanted to add some graphics and all those things cannot be possible there, right? So, but here, so they have given enough embedded analytical apps. So basically, that is more than sufficient for you to.
Okay.
One question from me. In this course, will we be given a chance to practice on the SAP like testing?
Yes. So this is the same system basically which I am going to be used, right? So you'll also have access for same system. So this 2020, once you enroll, right? So then you'll get all the access for all these systems. So you can do the practice here, right? So you'll have access for almost 3 months of time. So that is not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have access for 2020, 1019, and also you have the ECC system also available there. You have enough things. So basically, where you wanted to do the practice, you can go ahead and do that. And I'm also going to be use the same system for while giving the training also, right? The same system you'll have access, so that you can also look into my things and you can also play around with the system. Yeah.
Right. So overall, this will be just covering the financial intelligence part of it.
Yes.
And then the CO, which stands for, what does it, FICO? So FICO.
FI is basically, FICO is, FI means it is finance innovations, right? So finance, like you'll have GL, RAP, and asset accounting and all. So whereas CO will covers, we have FI is external reporting, right? CO is management accounting.
Management accounting.
Management accounting means it is only for the internal reporting purpose. We will use the CO. The CO anyways, we are going to be covered that COPA and the material ledger, transfer pricing, and all these topics.
Yes, that's okay.
So the highlights are basically wherever the more changes are coming on S/4HANA. So that's where basically we are concentrating in this course, because people already have a background in ECC and all, right? So for them, just they wanted to learn these new things, right? So with these new things, new learning, and basically we get a new opportunity. That's why where the focus is. Yeah.
Right.
The focus is on S4 changes. Yeah.
S4 changes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Fine. So if anybody have any other questions, so please go ahead. If not, basically I will wind up the session for today, and tomorrow will be the actual session only. Okay. So I'm going to be start with the chapter 1 tomorrow, which is real topics only. So by the time you can try to talk to Rajendra and get your system access credentials and everything. Yeah. So let's meet tomorrow at the same time. Yeah. Thanks all. Then have a nice day. See you tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.